Hi, this is Smo Love True. It's the 3rd of March, 2019, and it's 3:15. Is that right? No, it's 2:15 in the afternoon for the East Coast here in Worcester, Massachusetts. And I'm actually waiting on, Roy Mac to come on, and we're going to do a chat regarding T0ny Pant podcast. And I just wanted to share share his YouTube channel here as we wait for him to come on. So let's take this out, and as we can see here, a Roy Mac. Let's make this small. So just in terms of an introduction to Roy Mac, this is his YouTube channel, and here he has notes for the remedy. This is a Steemit link, and his homepage, he has his uploads, Roy Mac does a wonderful job in terms of getting all the notes down and adding some extras. So let's just take a look at all of the videos he's uploaded here. Pretty much when I stopped uploading, that's when he stepped in and he started to put together T0ny's latest podcast. And we can see here there are 12. There's a dozen podcasts that Roy Mac's channel has been uploading for the past month, and he's been very timely in terms of putting together the audio in a video format and then uploading it to his channel. So I highly recommend subscribing to Roy Mac's YouTube channel. And let's just take a look at the first one. There we have Targeted Individuals C60 AI Access. So this is essentially all of T0ny Pant podcast right from the beginning. And it sounds familiar. I think it's the Slinky that's copyrighted. So I try to cut that part out in the videos that I have, but sometimes I missed it, especially when I created those longer videos. And on Roy Mac's channel, he's doing each one individually. And here we have T0ny talks about targeted individuals, C60, and how AI can access mankind, as broadcasted at Independence Podcast, and that's the date, 2019, January 22nd. Please sign up for T0ny's podcast, and this is podbean.com, and then you have the podcast notes. So that's the fourth line here. Let's take a look at the bit.ly link here, which will bring us to Roy Mac's. Let's just minimize me here. So here we have Steemit for uploading the notes, and there's a link to the to T0ny's podcast. And let's see. Okay, that takes us out. And then it brings you to here, which is T0ny's podcast on BeanPod. And here you can see all the links regarding T0ny's notes. He's up to 60 episodes on the BeanPod, on the Podbean. Let's go back to Steemit. where Orimac has also put in the links for other links that Tony had mentioned. This is the Three Hearts Church, and further notes: fasting, swaddling, cortical vessels. A new type of vessel was discovered in our bones. We have C60. Metabolites alter our genetic code. Very informative, with links to sciencedirect.com, an article. And then there's more. So you can see all the resources here, collaborators, and contact information for Tony. So that's what I did want to share that's actually in podcast here. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so we're going to come out from here, and I'll put us on pause. So as I'm just waiting here for Orimac to come on, I actually caught him on his train ride, and he got back to me. He's over at Switzerland, just outside of Geneva, and I'm gonna have to ask him about what's up over at Geneva, because I realized the United Nations is in session until March 7th, 8th. My contact is actually going to be returning, let's see, from the Hawaiian Islands over to, I think he's going over to New York, and I'll check in with Orimac, see how the weather is. Weather's always interesting, and let's see. I've never met Orimac, and I do want to recognize that that he is uploading Tony's work. He's going to be, he's Orimac. Okay, so he's going to be the next one who will be able to interact, and he's been very good about interacting with the community of those who are commenting on his videos regarding Tony's work. So subscribe. Just going to take a little pause here, check things out. Be back in a sec. So one more quick note about the improvements that Orimac had done with the channel, or I should say with Tony's podcast. Let's see here. Can we share? There we go. So when we take a look at the videos, these were the first 4, and let's take a look at this latest one here. Let's see, yeah, the remedy biomolecular computation C60.
Hey everybody, I hear the airplane flying over. Welcome to the Remedy. I am your host, T0ny Pant, and you're listening to us live on the Micro Effect Broadcasting Network. Access the show by typing in www.microeffect.com. Then click on the appropriate links, the chat room links. Come on in, make friends, get acquainted, solve some issues, save the planet. Oh, does that do? You can access me by going to my website at augmentedforce.com. You can also find me on brian396.com, or got a site here, a new one, www.minds.com/brian396. Good site set up so that those of you who are visually motivated or visually stimulated, can have a visual on what is up and down and all around with nanotechnology, nanobiology, nanoassault.
So, as we can see, Roy Mack's taken Tony's podcast a lot further than I have. And it's really great to see like the next layer. I'll have to say, a lot of time goes into putting in these videos, and the level of detail that comes out in a video just from audio alone, it takes investment, and with investment there is knowledge that's being extracted. And so Roy Mack would be my go-to person, a go-to man about learning about the latest of what T0ny Pant, Brian 396, Susan Marr from Bye Bye Blue Skies, and this whole collective for collaborators is bringing to the foreground. So we're still just waiting for Roy Mack to get himself situated, and really exciting to take a look and see what all T0ny has been up to. Oh, I can see here he's also mentioned Small Love True. Okay, okay, what do you expect, huh? So let's, I'm gonna open up over here. Let's, hopefully that pulls up. And we're going to start over, just waiting on Roy Mack to join us. Okay, we are now on record, and let's see. What I would like to share actually is your YouTube channel. So I'm going to put that up and get us in there. Okay, so we can actually be big if we want, or it could just be you and me. There we go. Okay. Oh, and let's see if I can make this bigger here. Nope, that's it. Okay. Well, I'd like to say welcome. I'm Small Love True, and I've been the one who had been uploading Tony's earlier podcast up until about a month ago. And Giannis here, I want to say thank you so much for picking up the torch and continuing to upload Tony's work.
No, actually, thank you for all the job that you have done before me. I really appreciate it, and I thought since you now need us to do something else, I say why not? It's something that it's close to my heart, so I took over without anybody asking. I mean, okay, you proposed, and then I picked it up, and it's really my pleasure to continue as much as I can.
It is. It's a wonderful community that I've been working with, and the level of detail that you have taken it to, I'm really impressed. So I couldn't ask for a better someone to pick up the torch after.
Yeah, still I feel that there are more to be done, but it's limited the time, so I try the best out of the current resources, time resources that I have.
You do a very good job. You do a very good job. Let me see.
Tony does a very good job in just following.
He's like nonstop. And when I found, or how long have you been following T0ny Pant?
Tony should be maybe around a year and a half. Mainly, I came across with his YouTube channel. Yeah. I was not aware from the podcast that he had. The podcast I think maybe it came from you when I was searching again for T0ny Pant lleresco, and then it came up some of your videos where you had his podcasts. And then I started following as well, listening whenever you are uploading. I was following to listen the podcast, the Remedy podcast. Oh, yeah. But Tony, let's say I have met him around a year and a half through the YouTube channel. when I was looking something for health, mainly health solutions, alternative, you know, I don't, although I'm in the medical field, medical devices field, I'm looking for natural ways of healing ourselves. And I know very well how pharma works and how the whole medical system works. So, and then how in this research I came across with T0ny, and then since then I'm following him, some of his remedies that he's proposing in the channel, in his channel, of course, now through the remedy, the podcast.
Yes, he does. Oh, excuse me. The remedies that he has proposed, they're so doable. You could do it at home. Anybody could.
Exactly.
And I find that I really had fun getting hands-on into the work and doing it.
I can imagine. It's exciting when, okay, you hear it, okay, but then when you are doing it yourself and you see that, yes, something that you can do, anybody can do without any special background, simply if somebody is focused and follow the instructions, yeah, it's doable, as you said, and then exciting that it's succeeding, and then this fuel more enthusiasm to continue and try more and more and more.
Yes. I'm curious, are there any specific health issues that you're coming across, maybe that you're looking for yourself or for your family members that you're trying to resolve?
Yeah, actually, personally, I mean, as Yannis, no, I didn't have any issue. Mainly, I was looking to find to improve and defend myself against all the things that are going around us, to stay healthy, don't getting sick easily. And then, okay, some small things with my family, of course, so that the elderly parents, they are going through. So I was trying to find as well solutions for them. Although they are remote, they are far away, they are in Greece. But it started like that, mainly for some solution for my parents, and then for me in the defense, not to cure something that currently have, because thanks God so far I'm okay, but mainly to defend and not to reach in a point that, you know, it's running to catch up something.
Right, right.
Preventing.
Yes, yes. You had mentioned that part of your work is also with medical devices.
Yes.
Where are you located? And you don't have to be specific, but in general regions, and the industry that you're working with.
Yeah. So I'm based in the west part of Switzerland, and mainly specifically in Lausanne. And yes, I'm 20 years since I finished university. I was in the medical device field, starting engineer, then applications, selling, commercial, and covering, depending my position, because I have changed different positions through the years, mainly internationally. So supporting systems or selling systems, medical devices to hospitals or distributors, covering actually worldwide.
Wow.
Sometimes only EMEA, sometimes Asia as well, Asia Pacific, sometimes Latin America. Yeah, medical devices. So I'm quite inside the medical system from a commercial point of view, the regulatory point of view, how it works. But you know, medical devices, doctors, pharma, all of these are connected, interconnected, and one needs the other to continue.
Okay. Yes. I realize there's a big medical industry is a very big part of helping. There are healing and let's see, not it's more monitoring of health conditions. Can you say, is there any new technology that is available that you have seen maybe within the past, let's say, within the past 2 years?
In the past 2 years, mainly what is going on, in my, at least what I have what I have noticed, maybe there are more, but what I have noticed is more on the robotics. So when you're talking about preventing or healing or operations, so they're going more and more in robotics and remote. This is already happening, but it's continuous. It is a trend that is following this one. So in robotics, they try as well to integrate artificial intelligence in many of the devices, diagnostic devices like X-rays or magnetic resonance and some other segments. But as well, they try to use the artificial intelligence in this. Still, it's not commercial, but it's something that the companies that are investing in R&D to utilize the artificial intelligence.
Oh, interesting. Magnetic resonance. This is interesting because of, particularly because of the C60 infusion in the food supply. Could you say about what percentage of this magnetic resonance diagnostic tools are being put into the health industry or the health monitoring medical industry?
MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, it's actually quite, it is a big part of the diagnosis. It's mainly diagnosis so far, and imaging inside the body, because it is very detailed, it has high resolution, and relatively it's does not cause harm on the body unless somebody has some issues or he has some devices that like pacemaker, etc. Over there can be a small problem. But magnetic resonance, it's utilized quite a lot. It is expensive though, so it's not overdue. So they start with other technologies like ultrasound, CT is as well quite. They use too much CT, but CT involves some X-rays dosage. But MRI, it's really when they want to see details, small details, for example, for cancers, small metastasis on things, they are doing, it is part of a regular check-up, follow-up imaging with MRI in the most of the countries, of course. Okay, if it's very poor countries, that it's quite expensive and they don't have that many machines, only a few cases for, maybe not recommend for everybody MRI, only in very specific cases.
MRIs are very, they're not invasive.
No.
I would think that they were preferred similar to a sonogram or sonar, like ultrasound.
Correct.
And
Correct. But it's expensive. It's expensive, let's say, test. So that's why it's not widely used. Plus, the machines are huge, so you need a whole room. So it's as well the logistic and space and the investment of the diagnostic center or the hospitals to have. They can have easier, let's say, 10 or 20 ultrasound systems, and then 1 or 2 magnetic resonance systems.
Interesting. Yes, I can't say I've ever had the pleasure of being in an MRI. I was in an auto accident, but I think they just did X-rays on me, and that's pretty typical. Oh, you got no insurance. Okay, well, we're going to have to X-ray you. So and I think that's typical. I wanted to say thank you and to acknowledge that you do such a wonderful job with the videos you've been putting together. Like, how much time do you put into making one video that's about 55 minutes for T0ny?
Yes, it takes maybe, for me, it's as well, it's a little slow, my computer, but it can easily take me 4 times the time. So maybe 4 hours, because what I'm doing, I'm listening the podcast, then I'm following the links, Then I try to integrate the links and capture, print screens, and then to upload it on the software that I'm using for the videos. And then from there to upload it to the YouTube, because it's 1 hour, it takes maybe 15 minutes or 20 minutes to upload the video to the YouTube. So yeah, easily I would say an average is maybe 3 to 4 hours. Sometimes, let's say if I concentrate, it's 3 to 4 hours, yeah.
Okay, yeah. It sounds like you've got a system very similar to mine when I was in Switzerland. I mean, that last video I put with Tony's, it was like 9 hours and 45 minutes long. And it was like...
I thought that you took 1 day to upload it.
It took 20 hours. And then it was like, what am I doing? This is crazy. It would have taken less time to just do 1 video at a time, you know.
To split it, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got a little ambitious, you know, and tried to push it.
Okay. At least you have it in one shot. I'm listening to it, but you know, with intervals, I cannot listen continue. I don't have 9 hours, but
Right.
you know, commuting something, commuting somewhere. Whenever I have opportunities, I put to listen that one as well, which is, let's say, legacy or archive. It's older videos, and while I try to catch up as well with the current one.
Right. It's like one of the best strategies in terms of going through all of someone who has a whole catalog, like T0ny Pant podcast. It's like, go over the most recent, work your way back. When you've caught up with the recent, then you can go back to the ending part. And so with this, you do a great job. Thank you for putting in Tony's podcast, making it less than an hour. And then I have here the videos, and you've got 12 videos up. Excellent job. And then I've noticed you got playlist here.
Yes. Yes.
Can you go over the playlist that you've created here? Because I see you've got 6 playlists. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. 2, 4. Yes, 6. That's right. That's right. So let's say actually there are two playlists. Basic ones there are 2. I mean, I have put to your from your channel, which my plan is to start uploading the previous podcast from Tony that you have uploaded, to going through and then save it in this playlist. So let's say my channel, I will have what I upload, but what your work as well, what you have done before.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Then, yes. And then I have Tony's Herbs, Bits and Works videos. I mean, a playlist where I have put there all the videos that Tony has in his channel. So if somebody will come in my channel, then he can easily access, if he goes through the playlist, to see as well Tony's video from his channel. And then I have created one, it's a independent podcast only for those ones, the remedy that I'm uploading. And then I have split health, nano, and EMF protection. I try to categorize different videos, either from the remedy or from Tony's podcast at the moment. If it's more related to the nano, I will put nano. If it's more related to health issues, health issue. If it's EMF protection, I will put them in the EMF protection. And the same video, it may be as well in Tony's Health and Bits Works, or in your video, in your playlist, or in my playlist. But I try, let's say, if somebody's looking only for EMF protection, if you go to EMF protection to find relating videos, instead of going and search through, I don't know, 200 videos to find 3 or 4 that he's interesting for. So this is the idea. And I start with Tony, and slower I will start putting as well from Brian, 396, and other channels, videos in the specific category, in the specific playlist. More relative.
That's a beautiful thing to have someone organize this. And so what I'm noticing is health, the podcast, nano, EMF protection.
Correct.
Health, nano, EMF protection. These are like the main topics. Could you speak more about each? Well, let's focus on nano and then EMF protection.
Yeah.
Does one have more weight than the other, do you find?
I think that there is some overlap in some of the videos, although some others are only, for example, EMF protection. Yes, it can relate with the nano, but there are some topics to the EMF that it's really only for the EMF protection of our body against the electromagnetic energy.
Mm-hmm.
Either if there is nano in the atmosphere or in the air, or not. Nano, it's more it's more dedicated to nano poisoning, problem with nano, at the nano devices, you know, the bucket, the triangles, or other remedies that they help to remove the nano from our body. So the nano, it's more dedicated to the nano, anything that has to do with nano, problems that we have from a nano, how AI is triggering nano, or how is AI using nano, and protection against the nano. While EMF, it will be more for protection, electromagnetic frequencies or interference protection, which of course will help us against the nano, but it's not only related to the nano, it's as well to the, you know, the Wi-Fi, the 4G, the 5G that's coming, etc. So this is the two differences, although some videos they will be in both. If in a video Tony or someone else is including both topics, I may include it in both categories, in both playlists. Sorry.
Okay. No, it's so significant, and this is where when I go through a channel, when I go through a Roy Mac channel, and I see how it's organized by the playlist, and I realize you've only been active for about a month now, haven't you? Or
yes, for this topic exactly, it's almost about a month.
It's about a month. Yeah, no, you've done a great start on it, and EMF protection, so critical, and that addresses the nano, and the nano is like, that's the foundation. Once you know nano, then you can go to the next layer, which is the EMF protection.
Yeah.
And, so you do great.
And then the health, you know, it has other any other topic that it may include EMF protection because it affects our health. It may include nano, but include as well other recipes or other things that remedies that Tony has spoken around. What I found, at least in his channel, so I may put it over there. I have not yet categorize or segmentize all the videos because yes, just 1 month, and you know, as you said, I start going slowly in each segment. So in health, I have only 32 videos, and EMF, for example, 7. There are more there in channel, in Tony's channel, but simply I have not been through all these videos yet to save it in this list. So it's work in progress.
It is, and it's a great start. And so I think at this point, it would be great to allow viewers just sort of a little taste of who this uploader is. Do you have a full-time job?
At the moment, it's true that I'm looking for a job. I don't have a full-time job. So my full-time job is to find a job.
Oh,
which
that's
is
a full-time job.
Yeah, it's a full-time job. It's quite demanding as well. But yes, usually I do have a full-time job. And I'm planning, let's say, to continue this mission, because I see it as a mission, even later. I mean, it's you know, I try to organize my time as when you're working, you have some task and you book some time slots per day or per week to do some activities or some meetings or whatever, a project. So I'm doing the same here. I said, okay, in this time I will do this activity, this task, this project. That time or that day I will do that project. So I try to put it in a time that as if I was working full time at the, let's say, daytime, still to not interfere with this task, because this is one of the priorities.
Yes. You know, when I was back in Switzerland, I realized that Switzerland is very particular. It has a very predictable routine and lots of compartmentalization that happens. And that compartmentalization seems to cause separation among like individuals between you and I. And even though I was in Zurich and you're down at Lausanne there, it is bringing two people together so that we could collaborate, right?
Yes.
And it would seem so doable. It's like, gosh, I really wish we could have met up. You know?
Yeah. But still, as you said, it's. I have thought this a similar thing, you know, not only with you, but with other people as well, with other friends or people that I know. It is, especially here in Switzerland, it's so hard to organize the time together. You know, we are talking even with friends, and then here the Swiss or the people that are living in Switzerland, the system, how it is. Okay, let's meet, and then they open the agenda. Okay, I can meet in 3 weeks, a Thursday between 15:30 and 5 o'clock. And you say, what?
5 o'clock.
After 3 or 4 weeks, yeah, I mean, it's a little bit, but yeah, it is the whole setup of the country, at least, or the system, how it works here.
It is. It's my heart goes out to those, everybody who's on Swiss land. It is it's so unforgiving to the common man, to people like yourself, to my partner, that I could only get together with contacts every few months. It was, it's tough, very challenging. So I send my heart out and send more unconditional love, that church bells stop ringing and clocks can break and we won't be held to that routine. Now, let's see, there was one thing we have here was your About channel.
Yeah.
It's actually your notes for the remedy in a blog. And
At the moment, yes. At the moment, I have put only the notes about the. I'm talking about the remedy.
yes.
As I still try to, you know, to think a good introduction of my channel, a description, a short description of my channel.
You do a great job. You know, you have lots of flexibility because you're basically going to have all of Tony's podcasts. You know, nobody else is doing it. So feel free, get creative.
Yeah, exactly. It just, you know, it's yeah, it's to dedicate some time on that between the other things. Yeah. Because when I'm listening to Tony's podcast, you know, I try to think what subject as well. I try to listen all. No, I'm listening all, and then I try to decide what will be the subject, the theme, you know, of the podcast. And then I try to remember if I have heard something similar in one of his his videos or somewhere else, and then try, you know, to find this formation, and then I will include it in the notes. So if he will say something, let's say a few podcasts ago, he talked about the nano devices. He said, you can see in my channel. So I went to the channel and I found all the videos. So I included in the videos in the Steam it to have as well. If somebody is listening, going through the notes, don't have to go out and start searching, but he has the links on the spot.
He does. And you do just a beautiful job on this. I'll just have to say, I know what you go through when you go through Tony's notes. So
I'm sure you understand.
I do.
And I know what you went through too as well.
So really beautiful work you do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
As well, I tried because I faced some problem with the Steemit the other day. Problem. It was not problem. It was I did several changes, you know, additions or modifications, and then it was not allowing me to to save the changes because I had done too much and I didn't have a lot of Steam power or Steam credits. And that's why the last few videos I start uploading both in Steemit, and as well I'm making the notes. I have a blog site inactive actually, but I thought to reactivate it, and so I have it in two sites in case that I will face again limits from Steemit because of too much Steemit power. At least the notes will be in my blog.
Okay. That's great. That's so there's Steemit, and then you said there's also a blog here.
Yes, on the latest videos, for example, the last one on the 28th, on the description, you will see that it says notes. Let me see. Podcast notes and links on blog.ianis, and then podcast notes and links on Steemit. So I have it one after the other.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there are two links then. I mean, it's a good way to back up on different social networks.
Because at the other time, I had to wait 3 days until it will allow me Steemit to save the changes and publish it. And I said, okay, I cannot wait until the...
Have we lost Giannis here? Let's see, we've got a frozen here. Let's see here.